and welcome to Charts and Hearts. I'm Sarah, and she's Lindsay.
And together, we're working our way through an epic list of rom-coms in order to find and categorize tropes in the hopes of creating the nerdiest spreadsheet podcasts have ever seen.
And this episode, we're doing Notting Hill.
Hooray!
Hooray! Yes, so welcome to Hugh Grant month. Mm-hmm. In particular, this is floppy 90s Hugh Grant month.
Yeah, it is.
Not just generic Hugh Grant month. So, yes, obviously, Notting Hill, like, the character's nickname is Floppy.
Yeah, it's so perfect.
Like, yeah, calls out everything we need. And also, this movie slaps.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Good.
I was very concerned because I haven't watched it in forever.
Oh, I don't even know.
And
yeah, eons.
Because we've been doing this and because we've been watching a lot of Richard Curtis movies, I was like, oh no. And it's almost entirely fine.
I love it so much. Like, I'm sure there is problematic stuff, but not in a detracting from my love kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. Other ones
for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more of the times as anything else. Yeah.
I feel like I watched it before I went to London in like 2019.
That's a good decision.
But then I didn't go to any of the places really in this. Like, I didn't go to Notting Hill or Portobello Market or anything like that.
Yeah, whatever. It's a good
London's giant.
Yeah, good way to get in the mood.
Yes, it was vibes, not actual London. Okay, let's just kick right in with tropes or with observations, because there's a lot of them and also a lot of tropes. So we'll just contain our rambling.
I love it so much. Okay, so the opening montage, aside from the very first one, which is a shot from the end montage also,
yes,
is just real Julia Roberts footage from Entertainment Tonight, which I think is smart. Like, it's just funny.
Absolutely. Why would you recreate that when you've got umpteen?
Yeah, and it's a good way to like showcase all of her hairstyles. And
yeah.
So I think
but then the first part, I do love that they like call back to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's super obvious that you've seen the montage, and it also, in the moment when I first watched it, I'm like, oh, did they record all of these special for the movie? But then you're like, no, just this one. Yeah. It's great. Okay, so I don't even know where to start.
Me either.
But I guess I want to talk about Anna.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts' character.
Me too.
Because she is a really particular, specific character. Like, I think everything that she says comes across as very considered and careful, especially with people she doesn't know. And I think it shows that she has a huge amount of PR training and also has been burned a lot by talking to people she doesn't know very well.
Yeah.
Like, she's incredibly famous, and so she speaks in considered and short sentences a lot. Like, the first several meetings that they have.
Yeah, it's basically up until the night that she spends at his house. Like, she goes on a rant then about nudity and stuff like that. So, like, that's kind of when she opens up.
Yeah, that's when she opens up. Yeah. And I'm quite sure if we looked for it, there would be a lot of criticism from the time that she's, like, a cold or, like, non-relatable character or, like, not fleshed out. But it's like, no, like, that's the point.
Her,
is that she opens up with him later. But when they first meet, when she doesn't know him, she's... Like, it could come across as, like, terse or short or
she's just
cold,
being her public persona.
Yeah, she's being very considered in what she says.
Yeah, and, like, when she goes to the party, you can tell that, too, because she's, like, she's comfortable being around strangers, but, like, she's never comfortable at all.
Yeah.
And, like, even in the montage part of the birthday party, you can see she's just observing them. Like, she's enjoying herself, but she's just observing. Like, is she doing it to, like, for character research, or is she just like, this is just like, she's never experienced this kind of chill dinner party.
Or she doesn't get that kind of chill dinner party very often. And she does reveal something about herself, but it isn't private information, like when they're all competing about who is the most tragic. It's personal, but it's not private.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's stuff that would already be known or could be known about her.
Yeah. And it's not like the biggest
just
scandals
framed
in the world.
Together.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's nothing scandalous. It's just like that you know, yeah, because just because I'm famous doesn't mean my life is easy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But also she's acting.
Yeah,
Like,
no, she is. Yeah.
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 Yeah, which also brings me to, like, how amazingly good Julia Roberts is in this role. Like, even that scene, she does this whole thing of, like, where she starts acting and she slowly starts to reveal more truth. And at the end, she just talks about how her looks will fade and she'll just be somebody who was famous once. And she, like, has this realization on her face, and you can see that her entire thought process of, like, her fame and her career going away, and her, like, coming to terms with that for the first time ever at this random birthday stranger's house. Like, and all of the stuff that she does with him, and opening up and then closing back down, and just, she's amazing. Yeah. She's so amazing.
So good. And yes, this character could be like her, but it doesn't matter if it's like her or not. The fact that she's able to express these emotions in a way that is relatable and understandable to anybody means that she's a good actor, even if it's not like a big stretch. Like, I don't think a performance doesn't need to be graded on how different it is from your true self.
Yeah, no, I think that she definitely drew on her own life, because
of
course she could. Like, why is that a problem?
Everybody does.
Yeah, and how is that different than, like, going and learning to be a lawyer or whatever? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and, like, even her end speech, you know, the famous one that we'll get to, like, like, when she's rejected, like, the stuff that's happening on her face is incredible, because she's, like, keeping all of her emotions in and still trying to, like, convince him, and, like, also trying to, like, backpedal and, like, damage control for opening her heart and like...
Yeah, and protect herself from, like, not being vulnerable but not too vulnerable. Yeah. Or being honest but not, like, showing off all of her heartbreak.
Yeah, and just, like, also, like, kind of probably also, like, okay, I guess this means I'm going home as opposed to staying here, or, you know, like, I have jobs to do, but I wanted to stay with him, you know, like, kind of, like, rearranging her plans as well as rearranging her entire thought process. And
yeah, and, like, the press conference scene is also just
anyway, okay, let's move on, because we're
skipping ahead. Okay,
we're just gonna
continue gushing. Okay, let's talk about all the delightful side characters and cameos, because there's so many.
Okay, let's start with Hugh Bonneville, because I watched this movie 7 million times before Downton Abbey came out, and then it probably took me a really long time to figure it out that they were the same. I don't
think I realized until this time.
Really?
Or maybe last time I watched it. Yeah, because I never associated watching Downton, the like, dad from Downton, as being this guy.
Yeah.
But now that I watch it, I associate this guy as being the dad in Downton. Yeah. Like, it wasn't a backwards linkage. Fair. But yeah, he's so good in this.
I know, he's adorable.
Ugh, adorable. And then we've got teeny tiny Misha Barton.
I know. So small.
Playing, like, a child actor when he has to do the press conference thing in that space movie. Yeah, we have the sister-in-law, right? Because it's his brother.
No, he has a sister, and then the rest are his friends. His sister.
The rest are friends. Okay,
Honey.
So yeah, the sister is Honey, which that's the first thing that I'm like, this is very much like Four Weddings and a Funeral vibes. I had to look. I was like, is this the same actor? It's not. They just have
very similar
everything. Yeah, she's older, which makes sense because Hugh Grant is also older. But yeah, all the friends are so good. The wife who's in a wheelchair is spectacular. I don't know if that actor's in a wheelchair.
I don't think so. I'm just basing this on my vague memories, but I'm pretty sure I've seen her in, like, an Inspector Lewis or something else.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, she's not. Yeah, she was in Atonement, and she's been in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and then...
But yes, she's very good.
And her husband, and then Spike, Rhys Evans, just being, like, so ridiculous.
Weird and quirky.
And, like, that was where I was afraid that things were going to get real sketch. But, he's so weird and quirky, but he's technically fine. Like...
Well, and, like, he's asking for feedback about all the shirts, and then the shirt that, like, for some date, it's, like, right at the beginning, and, like, some of the shirts are inappropriate, but, like, he's not trying to be inappropriate. He's just trying to convey his feelings through his fashion, and doesn't know, like, what is to do. So the shirt he picks is good, It's not too creepy. I do like the alien one though, with the thing coming out of the chest of the shirt.
The incredible line that is like it's just kind of like NSFW, not untoward, but when he's like Hugh Grant like opens up to him and like finally tells him what has been happening, and then he's like, I knew a girl named Pandora. Never got to see her box though.
No, like it's an innocent-ish joke.
Exactly.
Like,
and it's just so it's such a you never see it coming, and you're just like, this is insane. It's such a good, well-written joke that is
delightful. The other person that I really love is the concierge at the hotel.
Oh yeah.
And especially the scene with like he jumps up and kisses him, and then the other guy kisses him, and then the like random businessman like also thinks it's like the custom to kiss the concierge at the hotel. Oh, those are the things, like, I remembered all the big strokes
big things,
of the movie, but I
ones.
forgot all the little details.
Yeah, and then and Martin, who's the bookstore assistant, who's like very wet and wibbly and like can't really do anything, but he's trying so hard. And the whole thing, shout out to Ghost, which we're doing in August. Because it's just like, I don't know Patrick very well. Oh, he wasn't very nice during filming? Like, it's so awkward. Digging himself a bigger hole.
Bigger and bigger hole. Yeah. And the annoying customer that comes back and just is like, cannot clue in that it's a travel bookstore, not a generic bookstore. I love everybody.
I know.
It's great. Okay, so that's side characters.
Yes.
There is definitely, I mean, it's a movie in the 90s about an actress. Of course, there's fat shaming.
Well, it's not even about her. It's about Hugh Bonneville, really.
Oh, yeah, it is about Hugh Bonneville. Like, yeah, true. She just talks, it's more like
she talks about it.
Embedded about, like, diet culture stuff. Yeah. They basically all refer to Hugh Bonneville as fat and lazy.
Yeah. Which is
interesting. Yeah. Okay. So there's so many epic bits, but the thing I think that's interesting is because it's Richard Curtis and because it's like 100% from Hugh Grant's character's POV, we don't meet anybody in Anna's life.
No.
Like, literally nobody. There's sort of unnamed PR people and other actors and stuff that are sort of near her. I guess the main one is the sort of the PR chief, played by John Trapnell.
Yeah, the bald.
He like doesn't even have a name, but yeah, the bald sort of kind of scary looking guy that you're like, are you a bodyguard? No, he's just the PR guy.
Yeah,
he's like the only person that we sort of see around her in multiple situations.
Yeah, and then the other lady who's like the marketing lady or something,
her publicist. Yeah.
So like she has a team, but she doesn't have any friends with her.
Yeah. And then other than Alec Baldwin,
that's where the fat shaming boyfriend is. He does that.
Yes. Yeah, he does. Yeah. So it's just interesting because I think that also contributes to like the sense of isolation that we get from her, that she really, whether it's all the time or just because she's in London filming, she doesn't have anybody really in her life. And then he has this massive, really tight-knit group of friends and neighbors and colleagues, and it's just interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting kind of thing, like setting it up of just not so much like the whole thing is different worlds, but this is more of like her not wanting him for his world because she wants him before that, but like just like looking at what life could be like. Probably she's been just walking along doing her current life, her isolated life, and that's what she wanted, I assume, because she worked so hard and to become an actress. And then she's like, now I'm here and I don't have any of this.
I don't have anybody. I don't have anybody to share it with. And I think it also shows like he doesn't want to be with her for like her glamorous life. Like he has a life that he's very happy with and that she is happy with. Like obviously their lives intersect, and like by the end he's like going to movie premieres with her, but they also like sit quietly in the garden on the bench.
Speaking of different worlds is the speech.
Yes. Right.
It's
so good.
Really good. Like it's a almost 30-year-old speech that's very well known. It's a very popular rom-com.
Yeah.
And like I'm trying to remember if the speech in Grey's Anatomy steals from this, because I know it changes and ends to like pick me, choose me. Like that's how that ends.
Yeah.
But I feel like it starts kind of on this level, not like in a jokey manner, but like it's
just
a very similar kind of
the stripped bear like coming to stand and directly speaking. Yeah, the directness of it is definitely inspired. Lots of things, and then also there's tons of spoofs of like I'm just a blah standing in front of a blah.
Yeah, which is like Ted Lasso.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Rom-communism, favorite best episode almost. Anyway.
Yeah, it's in my top
It's not
5,
called rom-communism, it's called Rainbow, but don't at me.
Yes.
Anyway.
It could be called either.
Yes. But yeah, it's surprisingly holds up for living with it for 30 years. And just like, it got me. Ugh.
And it's not cringy.
No.
Like, it's honest without being cringy, and that is down to the performance.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
If you saw those lines on the page and just read them,
you're like, this
be
could
cringy,
be really like saccharine or
or doesn't come across as sincere because it like feels too honest. But she just like stands there and bears her soul through her face and her eyes. Yeah. And you're just like, oh damn, Julia Roberts.
Yeah, no. Apparently she can, act.
She can act. Okay, and then we get the big finale scene where he's trying to like race to from one hotel to the other hotel, and he goes to the press conference, blah blah blah. The whole like clown car, everybody's squished in the tiny British car, and like the friend with the wheelchair like has to come, even though she's like, I don't need to come, and they're it's like they all want to be there with him,
but then she also saves the day because the guy's
does save the day.
What are you doing? And she's like writing an article about how London hotels treat people in wheelchairs.
So perfect. And also Spike saves the day by getting out and like, very poorly directing traffic. Yeah. I mean, they get through and then everything's a traffic jam. Driving in London seems horrendous.
Horrible.
Yeah. Like almost New York level. And then I guess the only other thing that kind of pops up off and on throughout the movie that it's like probably my only like big criticism is that some of the songs on the soundtrack don't hit the right notes for me.
Can't really
like
stand them.
The beginning of it,
she,
and
then
like
the you say it best when you say nothing at all. Yeah, both of those
they're
are just like bad, weird songs.
And it's partly because they're like too poppy, they're not soundtracky enough, and there's too much lyrics. But also, I think like the mix isn't right. Like
it definitely felt weirder. It was more jarring than I remember it being on the DVD.
Yeah, it felt like pasted on. Yeah,
but like from what I remember because like at the end when you get to the credits, it's a Shania song, and that's like the song.
Faith Hill, isn't it?
I thought it was Shania. There's a country song in the credits
in the closing credits
that is like the song, the official Notting Hill song, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but these two I feel like were written like trying to be or something. Like they give me Jerry Maguire vibes, like the soundtrack
the
of Jerry
Elvis
Maguire.
Costello one. She is not
new.
Is not new.
No, but it's just like it's in there so much because it's the beginning montage and the end montage, and you're just like
oh yeah, it is Shania Twain. Yeah, sorry. And then there's also somewhere in there's a 98 Degrees song. I think it's also in the closing credits. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. The only one that really works is the Ain't No Sunshine during the epic.
Oh yeah,
epic
that one breaks
montage.
my heart.
I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird, but like the score, it works for me.
Yeah, no, the score's great. It's really just there's a couple songs that are like they don't fit in with the other songs. They feel like they were put in as like promo songs rather than
like songs that work for the movie. Yeah. And maybe it's a weird thing about countries. Like I know they're on the soundtrack, but again, it's the North American soundtrack. Remember in Love Actually, there's two different songs in one scene for the
I don't know.
I guess UK and America.
Yeah.
It's
but I don't think that's the case here.
Where Lenny strips off and makes up with Carl. Okay. That song.
Yeah.
This is different.
I don't think that's the case here, mainly because I had this on DVD when I was in New Zealand.
Okay, so it's probably not. It's I
don't remember it being different.
Yeah.
It's just they just feel weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, should we speak about that epic montage? Because it's delightful.
It's so good. I was trying to look because I know about cuts from something we were watching recently.
Yeah. So they filmed it all in one day.
They're listed in the trivia because I only noticed one, but to look harder.
Well, mostly it's like I think there's not even necessarily cuts because they filmed it in one day and just redressed the set. So I think some of them, like, there is a cut, but it might be like hidden behind a person, so it's not even like a straight line cut necessarily.
Yeah, it's not a secret thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's magical, and
it's really well done. Yeah, I just was thinking about the set deck people and all the work they had to do that day, and Hugh Grant just had to walk pensively,
just walk slowly, and feel feelings.
Yeah, and have his feelings felt.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Don't think I have anything else to add.
No, it's just like it is so very much for weddings. Like even Richard Curtis pointed that out. Like I think he went back and changed a few things, but it's still like the scaffolding is the same. It's floppy Hugh Grant falls in love with an American who doesn't live there. Yeah, and he has a bunch of friends. Like
totally. Like the plot scaffolding is different, but the
the premise is the same. The setting basically. Character setting. Speaking of which, let's do tropes.
Tropes. Yeah, so Richard Curtis and Hugh Grant. Good pairing in this case.
Yeah, well, there's I think it was in the trivia or something. It was like Hugh Grant was made to speak Richard Curtis's words, and like, and that I agree with.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not all. I don't agree with everything that Richard Curtis writes, but I agree that Hugh Grant says them well.
Yes,
say that. Yeah,
indeed. There's some voiceovers, and they're fine. Yep, they do the job. They move the plot. They're pretty inoffensive. Yeah,
and we have a meet cute. We were just just listening to a rom-com podcast together, who would explain how that this meet cute is so good because they have a normal meet and then they have a cute meet right afterwards.
Yeah, so, and like one wouldn't work without the other. Yeah. Yeah, actually, we should link to that podcast in the show notes because if you like this, you would like that. It's a CBC Let's Make a Rom-Com. Yeah, we haven't finished it yet, but it's really good. It's very good.
They do a lot of discussion about tropes and other rom-com things.
And structures of rom-coms. Yeah, it's very interesting. We have London as our tropey city, and because this is like obviously a Julia Roberts movie, they made it extra London-y and showed off so many London-y things.
I know, like he rides a bus, a double-decker bus, like I think twice. Yeah. Which, like, whatever, that's how you get around. It's buses, but it just feels like more of like it's not really, wouldn't really be a scene, I guess, maybe in a normal British movie. Like he's just like on the bus, like hopping off, and
they wouldn't like zoom out and show that it's in fact a double-decker bus.
Like it's just like a bus. Okay, he's just taking a bus.
And like the Notting Hill, like the epic blue door that got like taken off the thing
when the movie came out.
It's not there anymore, and I think the people who own that place like hated their lives for a while.
Montages. This movie has a lot of montages, like we said, with the music, time passing, even like while they're eating dinner,
epilogue,
and then but they're not terrible. I'm into them. Like the montage, like the one where it's technically a montage where he's going on dates with all those other women is like really well done. Yeah, it's a good way of doing time passing, but you're entertained because it's a different kind of thing, and they're funny, like the fruitarian and all of that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the fruitarian and. Yeah, they are funny. And even like the one that you're like, oh yeah, like I could see that person with this guy, but he just isn't feeling it because he's so in love. No. Yeah. There's a whole lot of running and or driving.
Yeah, at the end.
To do things.
To get the girl.
Like the four of them, or everybody squished in a car.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, running through the random hotel. I feel like it was a real hotel because it was such a random assortment of rooms with like chairs and and things.
Actually, so... The Ritz is the Ritz, and they filmed, like, in the middle of the night. But I'm assuming the Savoy is probably... Maybe the entrance of the Savoy is the Savoy, but I don't think the interior
No, because it's just a conference room, conference hall, and then, like, the random hallways. So the random hallways may have been a hotel. Because it was very hotel-y, of, like, you take a wrong turn, and you're like...
Create that.
You're like, where am I? Why am I surrounded by just stacks of chairs? And
having been in the bowels of various hotels for various reasons over the years for, like, workish things. Yeah, they're weird.
Yeah, it was very well done. So it was either a real hotel or the set deck. People were, like, really on it that day.
Yeah. No, I would assume it.
Yeah, like why not? We're going to film in hotels anyway, so... Yeah. And then another Richard Curtis classic... big declaration in front of a crowd. Like he doesn't, he does declare his love to her, but like in a code which is fun.
Yeah.
For us.
Very fun coded way.
And then everybody catches on and just like my favorite is there's two guys. There's one who's in the close-up with him the entire time, who's acting so hard and making the craziest faces. Because he's just like, it's just like half
just
of
like
his
a
face.
random
And he's
background
like,
actor.
why is this my job today? I don't want this. And then there's the other guy. As soon as it catches on, is the other guy who just turns around and he's got his huge lens on and he just takes a photo of Hugh Grant like 3 feet away from his face. I'm like, that's good. You just took a photo of his like his nose hairs or something. Your lens was set up to take a picture of Julia Roberts, who's 100 feet away from you. Like,
yeah, you're just getting eyelashes and blurry ones at that. Yeah. And then, like any good Richard Curtis movie, and like most rom-coms, we've got quirky friends and family.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things that makes it work.
Yeah.
Like, while you're sleeping and for weddings. Like,
absolutely. Yeah. You need something. Because, like, otherwise, the main character or characters are too much in their head. Like, they need people to talk to, and you need shenanigans to distract from...
Yeah, from the hijinks.
The feelings. Yeah.
Hijinks and the feelings.
Hijinks and hijinks. Yeah. Okay. Lindsay, does this pass the Bechdel test?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a weird one because it's a male POV rom-com, which is always rare. Less rare when it's Hugh Grant, I feel.
Yes.
But it still does, because she does talk about all sorts of things, because she doesn't have any friends to talk about men with. And again, like, she's closed off. She doesn't talk about men at all except to Hugh Grant.
Exactly. Yeah, so she talks to his sister and his friend at the dinner party about like work and their lives and all kinds of stuff. Like, she also is like interested in their lives, which I think, means like just because she's a human being. Like,
exactly. So
ugh, yeah, so good.
So good job.
Yeah, let's make a pie.
Okay.
Okay.
So
you start.
Reason for the season: swoony floppy Hugh. I wrote down some lines that I just swooned over. Was it's a dream to see you again. It's just,
I know.
He's so he's perfect combo of things.
Even like when he's being awkward, and then she calls it back to, what does he say?
Surreal but
delightful,
nice.
but surreal but nice. Yeah. Ugh, it's so good. I don't know, 35%.
I think so. Yeah.
We might come back and add more. We'll see.
Okay. This doesn't I feel like it's a quintessential thing that I've remembered in my life. So it doesn't really describe the movie, but it's important for the movie because it's apricots soaked in honey.
Yeah. I think we can give that a little sliver.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
maybe 5?
Yeah.
5.
But it's just
5%.
like the spiral of his life is amazing. Just like,
yeah.
And then she calls it back.
It's also, it's so specific, and I've never heard of or seen.
I've never heard of this in my life.
Is it a British thing? I don't know. It's definitely not a me thing, even though I love apricots and honey.
Yeah. But like, are they like fresh apricots? Or are they dried apricots?
I would assume they're dried,
questions.
And then it's like a honey syrup, because otherwise honey's too
thick. Yeah, then it's like a weird like lava lamp situation almost.
Gross.
Let us know.
We're way overthinking this. Anyways, if you know where we can buy apricots soaked in honey, please advise. Or something you have to make. I don't know. Okay, we have Spike being so wacky.
Yeah, which I love. Like, he's so entertaining this entire time. Him.
Yeah,
like
20%.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, 20%.
Yeah, this goes with my Spike being wacky is when he puts on the scuba goggles and then exhales the cigarette smoke in there. Like, what is he doing? Why has he got the goggles on? It's so weird.
But then the scuba goggles call back when he goes to the movie theater. Goes to her movie with her, and it's so good. And she just throws popcorn at him.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so scuba goggles. 15?
Yeah, 15. And that leaves us with 25%.
I feel like that's high. We should.
Okay,
let's make.
I think we'll do this as 15.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do 15% of offering tea to solve all the problems.
Yeah.
And then we'll bump floppy Hugh Grant up to 45%. Yeah,
I agree. I think that's good. Yeah. But yeah, like there is some really good tea stuff in there, and that's another. I think it's a tropey British thing for the Americans because she's all like, "There's lots of tea, and I don't want tea," you know.
Yeah, but like it's real.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's tropey, but for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a delightful pie.
Tastes like apricots.
Very strange. Indeed. Thank goodness. Okay, and what do we think is next for them?
I think, like, there's the amazing epilogue montage, which I'm super into. The last scene has gotten me for 30 years.
Right.
So I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, me too. I don't love that she's pregnant, but that's my own problem. That's not a them problem. That's a me problem.
Yeah, I think it's more, like, in my headcanon, I feel like it's a lot of time has passed. And that...
Yeah, that's true.
Like, because, again, like, in the montage, they get married. The first thing in the montage is them getting married. So,
oh, yeah, I forgot that they got married. Yeah, okay.
So, like,
yeah, that's so maybe it's, like, 2 or 3
in my
years
headcanon,
later.
it's like, they got together, they worked it all out.
Yeah.
Then they got married. Then they continued to work it out. He would go to premieres with her. They both figured out how to make this life work, and then they decided to have a baby.
And then okay.
That's how it works.
Then I'm more okay with it.
Because they also had to move to the place with the private garden so they could get a key.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of neighborhoods with private
I know,
gardens,
but like they also
picked that particular
because it's special, and they also had to move. Like this, so this is there's a lot of things that,
and she had to move to England,
and like still had to do her job. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. All right, Lindsay, what's next for us?
Speaking of babies,
indeed,
we will be doing 9 months, which I think I've only seen once or twice.
I've seen many times, but all close together and not recently.
Yeah, I'm slightly concerned about holding up status. I don't think we're going to make it through this month in a positive manner.
It's going to be a hot mess, but in a delightful way. Yeah. I'm hoping. Yeah,
he's also married to an American, and what's with Hugh Grant and his Americans?
Well, they were trying to make him a global movie star,
I guess so.
Can't have too many British people in an American movie.
I think
scandalous.
This movie is set in America.
Yes.
I don't know. I have to watch it again. Anyway, so that's what's next for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode. Don't forget that you can leave us a rating or review wherever you get your podcasts, or you can find us on social media. We're at Charts and Hearts Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and at Charts and Hearts on Twitter.
You can also head to our website at chartsandhearts.com, where you can submit your suggestions for rom-coms and tropes for us to add to the list. Got some more Hugh Grant movies on our Patreon that you can check out. And we've also got a Patreon for this month, for Floppy Hugh Grant month. We'll be doing The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill and Came Down a Mountain. That one's all English people.
I love that movie
so much. So you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/chartsandheartsclub.
Yay! And you can let us know your thoughts on this movie. And in the meantime, your Horse and Hound's favorite actor, you and Black Beauty Tide. There's so many options.
There's so many.
It's such a quotable movie, but that's my favorite.
Yep.